Okay, are we on?
Yep.
Okay, welcome to the special city council meeting of North College Hill on November 30th, 2020 at 7 p.m. We will start with, looks like call to order. Looks like we have roll call up next. So Ms. DeWalt, if you don't mind calling roll.
Not at all. Miss Bailey,
Here.
Miss Blythe,
Here.
Miss Underwood,
Here.
Miss Zorb,
Here.
Miss Hartman,
Here.
and Mr. Miller Novak.
I'm still here.
Yes, and Miss Anderson,
Here.
all present.
Okay, I know it's really voluminous, but did everybody have a chance to review the agenda for tonight?
Mr. President,
Yes.
my bad, guys. The agenda is the exact same thing as the notice.
Amber, mine's not. I mean, it has roll call and it says agenda, has
Oh,
names on
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. President. I'm sorry. As far as what was noticed is what is actually on the agenda to be discussed. What isn't is not. Nope.
Okay. Well, my agenda says to go into executive session, and it doesn't have anything listed there. Right. And then it has a few other topics such as the budget, Charter Review Commission, and sorry, I got to shrink out of the screen. One other thing's on there. Is that correct?
No. The agenda that I'm looking at has discussion in executive session under ORC 121.22G subsection 1 regarding the appointment and compensation of an employee. And the second one is discussion in executive session under ORC 121.22G subsection 4, conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees, sorry, I had to scroll over, concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. So,
Okay, Miss Bailey, I'm looking now, and the email that was sent to me and what I was looking at is the agenda for the committee of the whole meeting.
yes, sir. I'm sorry. That is on me once again. That's because I thought it could be a committee of the whole meeting. However, we can't take a vote in the committee of a whole meeting, so it had to be turned into a special council meeting. In which case it was noticed as a special council meeting, and I can send everybody the agenda right now. And then we can make edits or amendments as follows. And I'm sorry I did not update everyone.
Okay. So are you going to email out the agenda for the special meeting now then?
Doing it right now. Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, great. It still says committee of the whole, but it's not. It's council meeting agenda, but I don't think the title in my Google really counts.
It does not. The headline on the document itself says special council meeting agenda.
Thank you.
Okay. Amber, I still have the same topics. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, but
Okay.
now you have like the executive session subsection things, right? With employees and whatnot.
Yeah, I have the full
Okay.
tab. That's the difference instead of just blank executive session. So that's the difference I'm looking for here, right?
It is. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Like I said, I prematurely sent out the last one to Miss Underwood, and that's completely on me. I had to go back and redo it because I don't know.
Okay,
Like
so
you do because you're all sent. So
before we get any further on this, the paper copy that I have and also the one you just sent says November 20th, 2020. And we want that to say the 30th.
Mr. President,
Go ahead, Miss Bailey.
I would like to amend the agenda to read special council meeting agenda Monday, November 30th, 2020 at 7 p.m.
Okay. Is that a motion then officially to amend it to do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before I request a second, does anybody else see any other amendments that are necessary so we could do it in one swoop? Okay. I'm taking that as a no. Does anybody want to second Amber's motion to amend the date?
I'll second. It's Mary Jo.
Okay, so I have a motion from Ms. Bailey and a second from Ms. Zorb to amend the date on the agenda to read November 30th, 2020. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi,
Aye.
Maybe we should call roll officially.
let's do that.
All right, can you call roll?
Yes, sir. Miss Bailey,
Yes.
Miss Blythe,
Yes.
Miss Underwood,
Yes.
Miss Zorb,
Yes.
Miss Hartman,
Yes.
and Mr. Miller Novak,
Yes.
Miss Anderson.
Yes.
Motion to amend passes 7-0.
Okay,
President.
first on the agenda, I have,
Mr.
listing of-
President,
go ahead, Miss Bailey.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
It's probably a good idea too. Does anybody second that?
Mr. President, I'll second that.
Okay, can we please call roll?
All righty then. Miss Bailey,
Yes.
Miss Blythe,
Yes.
Miss Underwood,
Yes.
Miss Zorb,
Yes.
Miss Hartman,
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak,
Yes.
Miss Anderson.
Yes.
Motion to adopt passes 7-0.
Okay, so first on the agenda, since we haven't changed the order, is executive session. So if anybody wants to motion enter executive session, we can begin that.
Mr. President, I would like to make sure that everybody has, do we have a second link for executive session?
Not.
I don't have one.
I have it prepared. I have not sent it because I need to know the invitee list, just like every time we do this.
So
Okay.
I would like to, if nobody has any objections, I would like to invite everybody to it. And then when we are ready to excuse the mayor, the city administrator, and the finance director. And then we will come back in for regular session after that.
Ms. Bailey, I should also let you know that that's why I'm so distracted on all my votes, is because I am trying to work with ICRC and the law director to get him, and he's not getting, after multiple tries, he's not getting the link.
Mary
but-
Jo, I'm here now.
Oh, okay.
Period.
Sorry.
Why?
Like
Forget-
it was
Forget everything I said.
I apologize if my frustration was showing through, but I was like, just send it to me in the body of an email. He kept trying to send me a screenshot and it wouldn't open up. And I was like, just put it in the body of the email, please.
Sure.
And I finally got it. So,
Right.
so I apologize if I seem frustrated. That's
Nope. I just wanted to make sure that we
yeah, I'm
accounted
here.
for
But
that
thanks,
in
thanks
executive
for
session.
thanks
Yep.
for following up on it. So
Sure thing. I apologize, Miss Bailey, for interrupting you. You could please proceed.
Okay, cool. So I reckon send it to everybody and then we will ask that the mayor, the city administrator, and the finance director, whoever else wants to excuse themselves, excuses himself, and then we will come back to regular session. Is that cool with everybody?
Yep.
Okay, Miss Bailey, is that it? So you want to invite everybody into executive session with council's discretion when to excuse them? Is that correct?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Well, if someone wants to make a motion, I mean, I will add that I reviewed the language for the motion in the agenda, and it's done properly and appropriately. So I would just read it as is, whoever motions.
Mr. President. Mr. President,
Miss Underwood, go ahead.
I move that we move into executive session pursuant to ORC 121.22 G1 regarding the appointment and compensation of an employee, and also under 121.22 G4, conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment.
Okay, I have a motion from Miss Underwood. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion from Miss Underwood to enter executive session as listed in the agenda, and a second from Miss Zorb. Can we please call roll unless there's any discussion?
Miss Bailey,
Yes.
Miss Blythe,
Yes.
Miss Underwood,
Yes.
Miss Orb,
Yes.
Miss Hartman,
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak,
Yes.
and Miss Anderson.
Yes.
Motion to go into executive session passes 7-0.
Everyone should have received their executive session email. It
Yeah.
looks like
Okay.
Mr. Dieter's already in.
So we're going to log out, everybody, and log back in an executive session, and then we will
But
resume.
Don't lose this link because you come back to this link. Sorry, Matt, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine. What she said. All right. So I'll see everybody in our private room.
Hey, Drew, we're coming back.
All right.
Okay, is everybody back in?
I believe so.
Okay, well, I need a motion to enter. Need a motion to
I'd
enter
like to
back
make a-
into regular session.
Can I just second your motion that you just made?
I don't know. Am I supposed to make motions when I do this?
No. Mr.
All right, I'd like-
President, I'll move that we move, I would like to make a motion that we move back into regular session from executive session.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion to enter regular session from Ms. Underwood, a second from Ms. Zorb. Any discussion? Probably not. No. Okay, can we call roll? Is Ms. DeWalt back?
There we go. Okay. Miss Bailey,
Here.
Miss Anderson,
Yes.
Miss Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Miller-Novak,
Yes.
Miss Zorb,
Yes.
Miss Hartman,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson, Miss Anderson. Sorry.
You called me twice. Did you mean to call somebody else the first time?
I guess I did not say Miss Hartman, did I? No?
I thought you did.
Yes.
Oh, did I not call you? I start over?
No, we're all here.
Yes.
Motion to reconvene passes 7-0.
Okay, next on the agenda, I have something about a charter review commission. And that,
Mr. President,
yes,
I'd like to make a motion that we start a charter review commission.
Mr. President, I will second that motion.
that seems very sudden, but we've got a motion to start a charter review commission by, that was Ms. Bailey, I believe, and a second by Ms. Underwood. Any
Thank you.
discussion? Any discussion? None?
No.
Okay. Call roll.
And we have Miss Bailey,
Yes.
Miss Anderson. Oh,
You're
that's where it
meaning
is.
to
It's
call
Miss
Miss
Blythe.
Blythe.
That's
You're
where
good.
I got it wrong. Miss Blythe, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Miss Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Miller-Novak,
Sure.
Miss Zorb,
Yes.
Miss Hartman,
Yes.
now Miss Anderson.
Yes.
No discussion, and to start a charter commission passes 7-0.
Is Bill still here?
Mr. President.
No, he is not.
the truth is that he isn't. You want me to call his cell phone right quick?
Well, my only problem is, I know we just voted to form one. Does it have to be deformed and actually seated by December 1st with volunteers or just?
I'm gonna do
Forward.
I'm calling him right quick. On speakerphone. Can everybody hear that yet? Cool. Matt, you're gonna ask him. Sorry, Mr. President.
It's fine. I'm still Matt.
Can I just read the charter to you? And I think it's pretty easily discerned.
Well, yeah, go ahead, Mary Jo. That's fine. Read it to me.
So it says the Charter Review Commission shall be created not less than the whole 5-year thing on or before December 1st of the year prior to the year of the charter review for the purpose of reviewing this charter to
This
determine if
says formed,
Mm-mm. No, created.
it
created.
says created.
Well,
Shall be created.
let's put it this way. If we're good, it's good.
Is
If
it
we're not, it's not. It's not like we're going to be able to man it and get people on it by tomorrow anyway. So
right? Right quick, and our charter doesn't list the manner in which people are appointed.
It does.
Okay, what do we got?
It says the commission shall consist of 7 members. The mayor shall serve as a member of the commission, and by virtue of his or her office, and the council shall elect one of its own to the commission. The mayor shall appoint 2 resident electors of the municipality to the commission and shall elect, council shall have 3 resident electors. The director of law shall meet with the commission in an advisory capacity. So
I know
we need a council person, and council needs to,
appoint 3.
yes.
I know it's short notice, but if we have the mayor, does council have anyone in mind that would possibly be apt to do this?
Me,
Okay, there's our member in. Madam Mayor,
yes.
would you possibly know, I know it's short notice, it's like literally happening right now. Would you possibly know 2 citizens that are jumping out the gills and so excited to be part of a charter recommission?
I know 2 I can ask. One served on one of the commission, Kim Newman, and then I can ask Arias Dukes Dean.
Okay. And council would need 3. Okay. Matt, do we need to have people tonight?
I don't know the exact answer to that, but you can't just name people anyways. You have to have people, and you have to have a resolution that appoints them. So, I mean, all we did is motion to basically have a charter review commission. We haven't technically, I don't know if that counts as creating it. We just haven't, it might be, we formed the commission. We just haven't filled the positions yet with people, and that's not going to happen tonight. It's an impossibility.
Right.
So either we've done it in time or we haven't. That's going to be Bill to answer.
Cool. Well, I would like to make a motion that we form a charter review commission.
Well, Amber, there's already a motion on. You made the motion, and it was seconded by Erica, unless I'm incorrect about that. We just had discussion, so.
We already voted too.
We already voted.
We voted, so let's.
So we're done. We don't need to do
We're
that.
done. Yeah, we can go on. Let's go. We're either good or we're not. Let's go.
Ms. Underwood, I would strongly urge you to look at the charter, the existing charter, because there is a timeline involved in there, 6
Okay.
months.
I will do that.
Just so you're aware of that. Sorry.
It is approximately 6 months. That's correct.
All right.
You have to be done by summertime.
Alrighty.
Okay, next is something about mask issues, mask compliance issues on here. I don't know who put that on the notice, so.
I did all fall on it too. So basically, we have a lot of city employees not wearing masks. And how do we stress to them that they need to wear masks? No matter their personal belief, they need to have them on.
We could have,
Yeah.
we could have had a mask ordinance, but oh wait, it didn't pass.
Well, I think the governor has way more authority than we do. And if they're not abiding by the governor, then what makes you think they're going to abide by something we do?
However, we're in a gray area because, like, I think that we need to look at a mask ordinance and say, hey, if you're a city employee, you have to do this. Other job duties as described. Can we do that? Like,
Amber, I think honestly, I don't know that this is anything we're going to resolve today. I mean, personally, there's a big difference between passing a mask ordinance that applies to every citizen in our city and passing some kind of mask ordinance that is a requirement for the employees of this city. We certainly have a lot more ability to enforce rules and regulations that we set for our employees than we can for the average Tom, Dick, or Harry walking down the road. So
and this is our employees, and
it is our employees.
right.
But there's another question though. I mean, some of our employees have collective bargaining agreements and certain protections within those regarding contracts and contractual relationships with us. Others do not.
Cool.
So, I mean, I think certainly we could pass some kind of ordinance or resolution that makes it a requirement of employment within the city to do it. And then ultimately it has to be enforced by the administration, not us, right? All we can do is make a policy or a rule, and it's the administration's job to enforce it, period.
Agreed. So
I might also like to point out that the mask ordinance that was voted down in North College Hill did exclude all fire and police personnel. So even if that had passed, it still would not cover them.
thank you for that clarification. Mr. President,
Good.
I feel like it's kind of late tonight to get into budget issues. I don't know if we can just talk about our operating budget at our next meeting. I know we can't table indefinitely because it's not in our council rules. Mr. O'Shea taught me that one. So
Well, Miss Bailey, this is listed in the agenda as discussion. You don't really table discussion. You just decide not to have it tonight.
cool.
So I agree. I think at 9 o'clock, it's entirely too late to start a discussion about money, as long as those normally last. So I would be fine fouetting that right out of the agenda and calling it an evening.
Me too, but coming that we are to like a deadline here, when can everybody get together to knock this one out of the park? Or are we looking for a temporary budget? Like,
What exactly are you wanting us to do, Miss Bailey?
so we have to approve either a 2021 operating budget for a full year or a temporary budget for the first 3 months. But
Okay,
still,
We can't just approve the budget that's submitted to us? Or are you asking us to do something else?
in theory, if you wanted to, you could approve the budget that has been submitted to us. Yes. However, there has been no discussion on the budget that has been submitted to us, including on how now we are in the position to pay a 4% raise without laying anyone off. So we would be going into this blindsided. And so do we want to have the discussion or no? Because I'm going to tell you, for me, the budget that we were presented with after reading it, there's no way. There is no way. Not even one.
I would agree with the no way part.
And it is a conversation that I can tell you guys all about via post-it note on my little binder here, but I don't want to do it tonight. I'm tired.
So can we just set up see what everyone's calendar looks like for a meeting of the whole to discuss the budget?
Sure.
That's fine here. Someone wants to start throwing out dates.
So I would assume, and this is just an assumption, that we have until, I don't know, December something to have this passed and down to the auditor. So I would say probably later in the month because they have to certify it. So, or in the middle of the month.
I would be available any evening this week or next week, aside of Monday.
Mondays are a normal council meeting, isn't it?
Right. Yes. Yes, sir, it is. Which is why I said aside of Monday.
Is it, what committees are the second? I guess that's finance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's budget and finance and city and community
I mean,
development.
is there any reason we can't use that evening to do this?
We did last time, and there is stuff on our agenda that we actually have to work through, unfortunately.
I really think we need to at least get a chunk of it gone through prior to that. That's waiting pretty long, in my opinion.
Mr. President.
Go ahead, Mr. Mosby.
Yes, I was overhearing or listening to the conversation, and I had said it before, but I had already instructed Ms. Hall to have a temporary budget ready for the next council meeting. So there will be a temporary budget that will be prepared.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not too good this week. Is there like another day next week aside from, I guess, aside from Monday? Thursday or something, or Wednesday?
I can do Thursday. I can do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Thursdays
All right.
are the only days that are never good for me, but any other days usually work evenings.
So how about
Mark,
Tuesday?
I'm sorry, Miss Anderson, you say Thursdays are not good for you?
Yeah, no, Thursday evenings aren't good for me. Or
Okay.
not.
All right. So Wednesday next week?
The 9th.
That's the 9th.
At what time?
7 for me. I don't like doing earlier than that.
Yeah, 7's fine for me.
All right.
Cool.
It's good for me.
Okay,
So, Mr. President,
go ahead.
then if you're looking at the 9th, I have a service call to my house. They will arrive anywhere between noon and 8 p.m. So I may or may not be available. So, but I can always just watch the movie and take notes.
I think that's fine.
Mr.
If you
President.
could be here, great. If not,
When I'm available, then I'll pop in.
yeah, and it'll be recorded, so it should work out fine.
And then, Mr. President, I have another question. If Ms. Hall is making a new budget for us to look at, could she please put hard copies in our mailboxes because none of us are able to print what she sends. It comes out with reference instead of numbers. She knows what I'm talking about because I talk to her about it a lot. Would that be a possibility?
Yes, please.
You're, Ms. DeWall, when you're saying reference, you're talking about within the cell itself?
Yes, it doesn't
Yes,
have the
it's-
formula for
oh,
the
I thought he asked
previous
me.
workbook.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that
I
just,
thought he was talking to me.
Not a-
So, just saying.
we can make hard
Okay.
copies, yes.
All
Okay.
right. Thanks,
And
Ron.
I would
for doing
offer
that.
to just have one copy and make copies for council, but I don't know if I'll have a copier by then. So it's just kind of easier to do it this way.
And with that, real quick, can we make sure that the lease payment of our new copier is reflected in the 2021 budget for council?
Sure. I mean, any expenses are going to be included once they're confirmed, yes.
Okay. Mr. President, if there is nothing else, I will make a motion to adjourn.
One point of discussion. Who is organizing this special budget meeting? Who's going to create it?
Well, it's a
I'll look it
committee
up
of the
notes.
whole. So technically, I have to do the notices, I think, and Mr. Graver has to do the minutes, but it doesn't necessarily like line that out. So I will say that I will do the notice and have it proofread 3 times this time before sending it out.
So, Mr. President,
Go ahead, Mr. Wolf.
in our council rules, it actually doesn't identify a committee of the whole. And I'm flipping through here and I can't remember which one it is that requires the calling members to put something at the doorstep or the residence of the council members. And there is a caveat to this, that if someone makes a motion tonight, that they all agree that they would accept an email rather than dropped at the door, then we don't need to worry about that part.
Mr. President,
We
Go
have
ahead, Ms.
everyone
Bailey.
here, so
I will make a motion that I do not or will not need a notice put at my doorstep, that an email will suffice for me.
I don't think we need to identify it as a singular. I think it needs to be made as a group, such as the motion could be identified as, to make a motion, do all members agree to have an email sent to them versus putting it on their doorstep? And that way all the members get to vote and it's not just one person responding.
Also,
Mr. Wald, I would just do a motion. Why don't we just do a motion to hold a special committee of the whole meeting next Wednesday at 7 p.m. and include in the motion that council waives personal notice.
That's a good idea.
Mr. President, I will second that.
Well, why don't you do it since I'm running the
Okay.
show here? Why don't you make the motion?
Okay, can we just cool the jets for a second, please? So the meeting is Wednesday, 7 p.m. and that's Wednesday, December the 9th, correct?
Yes, Mr. Wald, that's correct.
And council is waiving. Would you repeat that, please?
And then council is waiving personal notice.
Personal, okay. Okay,
Mr. President,
Go ahead, Ms. Bailey.
I would like to make a motion that we are holding a special committee of the whole meeting Wednesday, December 9th at 7 p.m. and council is waiving personal notice.
perfect. Good job, Amber.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion from Ms. Bailey and a second from Ms. Zorb to hold a special committee of the whole meeting next Wednesday, December 9th at 7 p.m. and for council to waive personal notice at their door. Any discussion?
I have one point to make.
Go ahead, Ms. Zorb.
The public notice would still have to be made, so as I was stating in the agenda or whatever public notice still has to be created because that still has to be posted.
Correct.
That's my only point. Thank you.
Correct.
That's correct. Just like any other special meeting,
But-
more than 24 hours in advance, it needs to be
Right, but-
posted. Yes.
Where I was going with that is I did not think that that was on the clerk's duties, which is why I asked who was owning that from council. That was my whole point before this whole rabbit hole happened.
Right.
Sure,
So-
Ms. Orb. I mean, it just has to be somebody who has access to our web posting stuff and can hang a sign on the door. I mean, Mr. Mosby can handle it. It doesn't really matter who does it.
I'm
Someone
just
has
looking
to
for
do it.
accountability to make sure it gets done. That's all.
So may I interject?
Sure, go ahead, Ms.
Okay,
Orb.
so generally this responsibility falls usually to the president of council, at least to take the minutes. I usually do the postings for these type of meetings. So with that, I have no issue. The reason you didn't see a notice in the, well, it's called the flash on the website is because I had issues getting the link to copy. So all it showed was an announcement with no information. So now I know how to get the link to copy. So when the information goes out, it will show up in Newsflash as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Seawold.
I'm working on it. So I will see that those notices get out.
All right, we have to roll call stuff. Sorry. I interjected.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, we do. We have the motion and a second up.
Okay, and again, just to clarify that I could find, there's no committee of the whole meeting identified in our council rules. But in one of the meetings, and I don't know which, if it's a special meeting, it might be a special committee meeting where it has to be dropped off at the door. But so long as we make the announcement in a meeting that we're okay with what we're doing here, then it's covered. So we've agreed to no notices at the door, and I will see that the proper notices get put up on the city center bulletin board and the website. Okay, I'm ready for roll call. Hello?
I'm ready.
That's you.
All right, Miss Bailey,
Yes.
Miss Blythe,
Yes.
Miss Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Milonovec,
Yes.
Miss Zorb,
Yes.
Miss Hartman,
Yes.
and Miss Anderson.
Yes.
Motion to do as discussed with the meeting and all the postings has passed 7-0.
Great.
Mr.
Okay. Yes.
If there is no other new business, I would like to make a motion we adjourn.
Okay, I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a
A
second?
second.
Any discussion? No? Okay, I got a motion from Ms. Bailey, a second from Ms. Zorb to adjourn the meeting. Call roll, please.
Miss Bailey,
Yes.
Miss Blythe,
Yes.
Miss Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Milonovec,
Yes.
Miss Zorb,
Yep.
Mr. Hartman, Miss Hartman, good gravy,
Yes.
sorry, and Miss Anderson.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn passes 7-0. Good night, folks.
Good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks
Good
for
job,
running.
Good
it.
night.